Welcome to Roger and Roger Daily Edition. We do this podcast daily. Oh, Roger, I've been looking at a lot of the internet trying to see what's going on with just general activity, and Paul Feinbaum seems to be making the news. People don't like Paul Feinbaum, Roger. I've told you that. There's no need to research Paul Feinbaum and include him in our show. Well, he was just all over the place, talking about Georgia, not Alabama. So Paul is hit the transfer portal, is going to discuss Georgia now, I understand. Well, I don't really have much concern for what he might say. Roger and Roger Daily, it's a radio show. The YouTube viewer, welcome. And until we meet again on YouTube, you see there's a difference in how you produce a show, a daily show. How's the Sirius radio deal going, Roger? I don't know anybody who uses that, so I haven't really pursued it. I was hoping we could get on that. There are people that listen to that, you know. Well, I'll see what I can do, Roger. Paul Feinbaum is making the news. It's got to be at least worth talking about. Very well, what is Paul talking about today, Roger? Paul Feinbaum is saying all kind of things, but he's really saying Georgia should have won that game against Notre Dame, and he's being critical of the coaches, saying that our coordinator isn't very good. It took him that long to find that out. Doesn't impress me, Roger. Well, now, Roger, isn't that just the kind of thing that we do this show for? Is to not do what Paul Feinbaum and all the others, the Joel Klatz, and the list goes on and on. Josh Pate. Everyone has a take on things. And then they multiply it, and it becomes an avalanche of nothing, but it seems like something. So Paul Feinbaum is getting on the Bobo train a bit late. I'm quite certain that Paul Feinbaum was saying that he was a great coordinator 2 months ago. And so were the others. And everyone defended Mike Bobo whenever he was attacked. In fact, he was never attacked. He was given credit for a great offense last year. You and I had arguments with people, but we had no ammunition. Now, we've got all the ammunition in the world. Yet still, they don't want to hear anything negative about their coordinator. Well, you see, Roger, it's a Georgia thing. Georgia loves their coaches. They always have. I didn't say their coaches were lovable or worthy of this adoration, but they do love their coaches here, Roger. Now, you coming in from Birmingham, and it ain't even the Birmingham down the road, trying to tell us how to talk about our coaches. Well, he is a bad coordinator. You don't have to be Paul Feinbaum to know he's not any good. You don't have to even be much better than 2 years old. If you've got a video game, you know he's not any good. Well, Roger, we've got playoff games coming up. Notre Dame against Penn State, Texas against Ohio State. Those are coming up before the weekend. Take a minute to send our sympathies to the people in California with the wildfires and the hurricane force winds and cold weather all across the country. It's a tough time for us all, and so we hope those things get better. But we do have football to take our mind off our troubles, and the first game, Notre Dame and Penn State, Roger. We've talked about that game. You seem to like Penn State still, and so do I. We think a balanced attack should be enough to beat Notre Dame. If Georgia had a rematch, I certainly believe that it could have been arranged for them to have beaten that team. They didn't look like world beaters, and I think Penn State will rise to the occasion. Yeah, I can't disagree. Penn State seems like they have a little trouble getting yards and getting points at points in the game, but they generally get the offense to go. And I think they're going to beat Notre Dame with their own game. Texas and Ohio State, Roger, that's a good one. Who do you think's going to come out on top on that one? Well, Ohio State has the best roster. Texas has a similar roster. They're both talented. NFL players all over the field, both sides. Well-coached teams overall, but Ohio State seems to have just a little more roster depth and firepower, perhaps. They got the receivers. I got to go with Ohio State until they prove us wrong. Well, I like Texas in that game. I think Steve Sarkisian is going to find some way to keep Ryan Day busy. And it seems like if you can play Ryan Day on his level and you start to punch at him, he gets nervous and he wants to go into that Michigan mode. And I think Texas can break Ohio State's rhythm. And no one's been able to do that. Tennessee couldn't do it. Oregon couldn't do it. But Texas can. And I think that's going to put the pressure on Ohio State. In that game, I think Texas might even go into overtime. I see Texas winning. And that brings a Texas-Penn State matchup, which we can look forward to. Well, I think that would be a fantastic football game, Roger. I almost hope that one happens. But we've discussed the playoffs. We'll know very shortly how it's going to go for the finals. But the semifinals seem very enticing as we're down to the final four. Roger, until we meet again, and to all of you, I hope you have a pleasant evening, and ta-ta.